Okay, so picture this. It's New Year's Eve, you're scrolling online, and everyone is posting these epic lists of goals for the new year. But one person is just sitting there with a totally blank notebook, having this just terrifying realization. And that's where our story really kicks off, with that punch to the gut feeling of failure that I think we can all relate to, right? But the reason for that failure, well, that's what's so interesting.
Look, it wasn't about a lack of effort. It wasn't about being lazy or just giving up halfway through. The author realized the real problem was something else entirely, something coming from the outside.
And here it is, the core idea. What if the pressure to perform, to post every little update, to prove you're making progress to an audience, what if that's the very thing that was killing the work itself? This is a concept we're going to call the performance trap. Yeah, the performance trap. It's what happens when self-improvement becomes a spectator sport. The moment your focus shifts from actually doing the work to documenting the work, something really important just breaks. And to see just how bad it can get, we need to talk about a cautionary tale. So, Marcus was a software engineer building his own AI startup, and he was doing everything by the book, the whole build in public playbook, daily tweets about his routine, little code snippets, founder wisdom. He was building a great following. But by August, his startup was completely dead.
And this gets us to the real conflict, the one Marcus's story shows us so clearly. He was stuck between getting applause for his performance and getting the actual outcomes his business desperately needed to survive.
Now, check out the math on this slide because this is where it gets really wild. Marcus was spending 4 hours every single day creating content, about the 2 hours a day he spent actually building his product. The performance was literally double the work. The math it doesn't work. This quote from Marcus just crystallizes the whole problem, doesn't it? He was chasing likes, followers, that external pat on the back, instead of real, tangible results for his business. He was optimizing for the wrong thing. And it turns out there's a powerful scientific reason why this feels so good but is actually so destructive.
You see, our brains can be kinda easy to trick. They can make us feel like we've already accomplished something before we've even started. It's a phenomenon we'll call the dopamine deception, and social media has basically put it on steroids.
Let's just walk through this loop. So you announce a big goal, like, I'm going to learn to code in Rust this year. You post about it, and you get this flood of likes and supportive comments. Your brain releases dopamine, which is the exact same reward chemical you'd get from actually finishing the project. You already feel good, you feel accomplished, so your motivation to do the hard, frustrating work, it just nosedives. You've already gotten the reward. And hey, this isn't just a theory. Research from MIT found that people who told others about their goals were a staggering 33% less likely to actually see them through. The science is pretty clear on this. Announcing your intentions can totally sabotage them. So, what's the alternative?
This brings us to the author's solution. It's a totally counterintuitive strategy built on two things: privacy and focus. Instead of building in public, you build in private. You commit to silent, relentless execution.
The whole philosophy boils down to this one phrase: invisible until irrevocable. You work on your goals shielded from that public pressure, away from the dopamine trap, until the progress you've made is so real, so substantial, that the results can't possibly be ignored. You let the work speak for itself, but only when it's ready.
So the author applies this to 4 big areas of life. Instead of tweeting every update, they're just quietly building a complex AI system. Instead of posting progress pics, they're focused on their actual health. It's about deep, meaningful learning and creating for the sake of creating. You see the pattern here, right? It's all about building internal capability, not getting external validation.
Let's use that physical transformation goal as an example. The public metrics, they're all about appearance, right? Abs, personal records, those before and after photos. But the silent metrics, they're all about how you feel. Are you sleeping better? Do you have more energy? Are you in less pain? This whole strategy redefines what success even means, shifting it from what other people see to how you actually live. And this just nails the deep learning goal. The focus isn't on consuming a bunch of content and tweeting about it. No, it's about that quiet, sometimes messy, often frustrating struggle of writing real code and actually building the skill, far, far away from the public eye.
So as we start to bring this all together, the real power of this strategy becomes crystal clear. It's about flipping the script entirely. It's about valuing the work over the performance of work and letting the final outcome be the only announcement you ever need to make. And look, this isn't just one person's idea. Sarah Drosner, a VP over at Google, validates this perfectly. The best people in their fields aren't live streaming their process. They're deep in the trenches, solving really hard problems. They come out with solutions, not with daily progress updates. Now, you might be thinking, but wait, build in public works for some people. And you know what? That's true. But what we don't see is the survivorship bias. For every one of those public success stories, there are thousands of others who burned out trying to keep up the performance while their actual work suffered until they just quietly disappeared. And that's really the mantra, isn't it? The entire philosophy, right there in 4 words. Focus on the execution, quietly, and the results will make all the noise you need. Ultimately, this is all about a shift in what we choose to value. It's a move away from the theater of productivity and a return to actual production. It's about contributing real, finished work to the world, not just more content about the work you plan to do. So, as we wrap this up, the final question isn't about what you're going to announce or what you're going to post. It's about what you will build, what you will learn, what you will become when absolutely nobody is watching. What will you accomplish, not for some algorithm, but just for you? What will your quiet year look like?